I'm not threatening you. Say one more word, and that's 30 days. 30 days.
Hey, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to Sovereign Citizens Hall of Fame with your man TP. Today we are jumping into number 173 on our compilation list. For this particular compilation, we will be in 3 different judges' courtrooms. Before I give you the rundown on those judges, don't forget commentary will be left in some of these proceedings from when they originally aired. Also, chapters will be added for your convenience. As always, we ask as a courtesy, if you can, to like, comment, share, and if you're not a subscriber to the channel, subscribe. And now, let me give you the rundown on these judges. The first judge's courtroom we will be in is that of Judge Kenneth King out of the state of Michigan. Second, we will be in the courtroom of Judge Jeffrey Middleton, also from out of the state of Michigan. And last but not least, yes, we are staying in Michigan, we will be in the courtroom of Judge Sean Perkins. And for the sovereign citizen that's before Judge Perkins, we're only sharing 2 appearances here because of the length of time, but there is actually 5 appearances, 5 proceedings that this particular sovereign citizen had, and all 5 came to a conclusion. So I will put a link down in the description just in case you want to see 3, 4, and 5 at your convenience. And now it's about that time, guys, to go ahead and jump into 173.
What's your name, sir?
Raymond.
Okay, come on, Mr. Raymond. I'm gonna have you stand right here in front of this seat, okay?
Calling case 2359278. People of the state of Michigan versus Raymond Terrell Blandon. Defendant is charged in count 1 with
Count 1, weapons carrying concealed. Appearances for the record, please. Agent Lewis for the people, P85520.
And it looks like the defendant has not been assigned an attorney. What's your name for the record, sir?
Raymond Terrell.
It's Raymond Terrell. So it looks like you got Raymond Terrell. Terrell is your last name?
No, it's not.
What's your last name?
You asking me the name on my birth certificate? Name on my birth certificate is Raymond Terrell Blandon. But it would be wrong for me to use that name. That name is copyrighted by the Queen. How could I possibly use that name?
Copyrighted by the Queen. What
Yes.
Queen? You don't have a
Queen
Queen.
of England or whoever, but it's copyrighted. It's owned by someone else. I don't own my name.
In any event, this matter is scheduled for preliminary examination. Sir, you don't have an attorney present here. The court wishes to assign you an attorney.
I'll deny it. I don't want it.
Why not?
I don't want an attorney. I don't need an attorney.
Think you're capable of representing yourself?
Yes, I am.
Are you an attorney?
No, I'm not an attorney.
How far did you go in school?
I went far enough.
How far is that?
That's 12th grade.
Graduated?
No, I did not.
Okay.
I can read, write, and I understand proper English. So
All right, let me make sure that you understand me. I think that you're really doing a disservice to yourself by not having an attorney. And this is for your own protection because you're not charged with the most serious of crimes, but yet it still is a 5-year felony. You understand that?
yeah, I understand.
Okay. Do you understand that an attorney will be able to do some things on your behalf, like quite possibly get you diversion, to which you would plead guilty, do a short term of probation, and then the case would be dismissed off the record.
I understand my rights and I understand the situation that's going on. So I'm fine with representing myself. Whatever happens is what happens.
You understand that if you represent yourself, I gotta hold you to the same standard as if you were an attorney. I'm not cutting you any breaks because you don't know the law.
That's fine. I understand.
So it's your wish to represent yourself.
Yeah.
All right. Now, I no way mean to insult you in any kind of way. But you have heard of that old saying that anyone who represents himself has a fool for a client. There's a lot of truth to that. A lot of truth to that.
It's my right to represent myself, and I wish to represent myself.
Okay. Are the people ready to proceed?
Yes, sir.
How many witnesses?
Just one.
They call you witness.
At this time, the people call Officer Bashby.
Sit down, sir.
Your Honor, may I ask for, a mutual release restoration with the exception of the officer charged with, please take the-
All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen out there in YouTube land, if you are a witness or potential witness of order and you log off at this time, sir, please step forward, give your name and spelling to the court report. Yes, Your Honor.
N-A-B. Last name B-A-J-P-A-I.
That's all, sir.
Please raise your right hand, sir. You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Thank you, sir. Please have a seat with witness box next to me. Voice up nice and loud and speak to that microphone. To the right.
Yes, sir.
You may begin when you're ready.
Can you please take your name and occupation for the record?
Officer Naveed Bajpai, police officer with the Detroit Police Department.
And how long have you been a police officer?
Approximately 5 years.
And were you working in the capacity of a police officer on October 5th, 2023?
Yes, ma'am, I was.
Okay, and were you working by yourself?
No, ma'am, I was working with 2 partners,
What's their name?
Officer Ryan Ruloff and Officer Daniel Colgrove.
And on this particular day, were you working in full or modified uniform?
I was working in a modified uniform, as you see me in court today, with
Okay. And were you on foot patrol or in a scout car?
in a scout car.
Was that scout car police marked or semi-marked?
It was semi-marked.
Okay, and when a police vehicle is semi-marked, what exactly identifies that as being a police vehicle?
It's present with decals stating Detroit Police on both sides. However, the light bar is inside the vehicle as opposed to on top.
Okay. And did your duties as a police officer take you to 1200 East 7 Mile Road?
Yes, ma'am, they did.
And is that in the city of Detroit, County of Wayne?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
And what is at that location?
That is a Valero gas station.
Okay. And why were you at that location?
We were conducting a routine patrol in the area.
Okay. And while you were conducting routine patrol in the area, did you observe anything that caught your attention?
I did, yes.
What did you observe?
As my partner pulled the scout car eastbound through the parking lot of the Valero gas station, I observed the defendant, Mr. Blanding, walking westbound through the parking lot of the gas station towards our oncoming scout car.
Okay. And can you please point to an identifier on the book code of the person you had identified that you observed?
That would be Mr. Blanding with the gray t-shirt.
Your Honor, may the record reflect that the witness has identified the defendant?
So, no.
Okay. And upon making this observation, did you observe anything further?
I did, yes.
What did you observe?
As Mr. Blanding was walking towards us in mentioned manner, I observed the grip of a handgun protruding from his front waistband.
Okay. And based on your observations, what, if anything, did you do?
At that time, I exited my scout car to further an investigation for possible CCW.
Okay. And what happened next?
I made contact with Mr. Blanding in the parking lot. At that time, I asked him if he could present me with a CPL.
And did he present you with the CPO?
He stated to me that he's open carrying and therefore did not need one.
Okay. And upon receiving that information, what did you do next?
I instructed Mr. Blanding to place his hands upon his head in order to safely recover the firearm, which he did.
Okay. And why did you instruct him to do so?
Mr. Blanding had previously informed me that he did not have a CPL, which would be a requirement to carry a firearm in mentioned manner.
Okay. And when you say in mentioned manner, please explain to the court what do you mean by that?
The majority of the firearm was concealed within his front waistband. The only exposed part of the firearm was the grip.
Okay. And did he comply with putting his hands up and everything?
Yes, ma'am, he did.
Okay. And did the defendant have a CPO?
No, he did not.
And did you verify that?
Yes, it was verified via lien.
Okay. And what did you do with the firearm?
I secured the firearm as well as the inside the waistband holster inside my scout car, pending processing of the prisoner.
Okay. Did you place that on him?
I did, yes.
No further question.
Cross-examine. You get to ask questions. Yes. Step to the podium so we can hear you. Right.
I asked you, what was the reason for stopping? What was the reason for stopping?
As I stated, I observed you concealing a firearm in your front waistband.
You observed me concealing the firearm. You can see the firearm properly though, from which your eye from the scout car, from 30 to 40 feet away, right?
As I mentioned, I could see the grip of the firearm protruding from your waistband.
Okay,
Yes.
so how could you consider that concealed if you can see the firearm with your eyes? And that's what, the only thing that made you stop me was the vision of my firearm, right?
A portion of the firearm.
No, all you seen, but why else did you stop me? There was no other reason for you to stop me, so that would be considered a Terry stop, right?
As I mentioned, that was the reason for the investigation, the further weapons offense investigation.
But there was no, I was not committing a crime. There was nothing that you can say that I was committing a crime, or no other reason that you can say that I was doing anything wrong for you to stop. So you had, what would you say, you just had a feeling that I didn't have a CCW, so that is the reason why you stopped me.
No, sir, I had reason to investigate you and ask you to present your CDL card.
But what was the reason for stopping me? I was not committing a crime. I was walking through the stairs. You can see the gun. You don't know if I have a CPO or not. So what gives you the right to even stop me in the first place in question?
Because the majority of the firearm was concealed inside your waistband.
Once again, you don't know if I have a CPO or not, right? So why did you stop me? You don't know if I have a CPO or not. I'm not committing a crime. I'm walking down the street, so you have no right to stop me and question me in the first place. That is a violation of my Second Amendment rights.
Yeah.
Is that a question or a statement?
So
You have to ask questions.
So you can see that I was not committing any crime. So can you tell me what was the reason for stopping me besides the sight of my firearm?
That's been asked and answered.
Okay, so there was no other reason for you to stop me. I don't have any more questions. I mean,
Okay. Can you redirect?
No redirect, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. You missed it.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Any other witnesses?
No further witnesses, Your Honor.
Sir, do you have any witnesses to call?
no, I don't.
Your Honor, at this time, the people request that the case be filed over. We do believe that this question of fact for the trier of fact to be here from the witness officer dash time. He stated upon observing the defendant with a grip of a handgun protruding from his waistband, he then went and investigated for possible carrying a concealed weapon, upon which he asked if he had a CPL. The defendant did not present one, at which point the officer recovered the handgun and made it safe, and also verified via need as to whether he had a license to carry, and which he did not. So, Your Honor, the people believe that this question of fact or trier of fact based on
Mr. Terrell and Mr. Landon, whichever your name is. Would you like to make an argument as to why the court shouldn't bind it over?
You say what?
Would you like to make an argument as to why the court should not bind this matter over?
Yes, I would.
Go ahead.
Because he violated my Second Amendment rights. I have a right to bear arms, and I was doing nothing wrong. I did not commit a crime. He did not have a reason to stop me in the first place. And that would be considered a Terry stop because he didn't have a reason or a right to stop me. I was not committing a crime. So why did he even stop me and approach me? I have a right to bear arms. My arm was legal. It's registered. So therefore, why was he even stopping me? That's harassment. He stopped me because he seen a black man carrying a firearm walking out of the store. There was no other reason in the world he could stop me. I don't see no other reason why he could stop me. Like, I was not committing a crime. Usually you would have to be committing a crime for someone to stop you if you're walking out the store. Well, the only thing he's seen my pistol. I have a right to carry a pistol. That is my Second Amendment right. So why is he stopping me?
All right, I get what you're saying. And that's not different than an argument that an attorney would make. You didn't do too bad, especially to not have any formal education in law or college and life. But let me explain something to you. You do have a Second Amendment right to bear arms, but as all of your rights, none of those rights are absolute. States have been made to regulate how and when you can carry a weapon. In the state of Michigan, although you can open carry, you cannot carry a concealed weapon.
It was not concealed.
Sir, hold on, let me talk. You cannot carry a concealed weapon on your person without a license to do so. Sir, please do not interrupt. Let me talk. I'll give you another opportunity, okay? All right. So the officer testified that the weapon was concealed on your person. It wasn't totally concealed in that he could see the hand grip of the weapon. It does not have to be totally concealed in order to be concealed in the state of Michigan. A portion of it, he said that The only part that was visible was the grip of the handgun. That would be considered concealed, or at least a question of fact as to whether or not you were open carrying or carrying a concealed weapon.
The only thing that I can say that would be the problem is I had the empowered holster. I wasn't aware of the holster.
Your holster isn't even an issue.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with you having a holster. I don't have a problem with you carrying a gun if you're open carrying.
Yeah, open carrying. But the reason he seen the gun, Your Honor, is that's the only reason he seen it. When I walked out of the gas station, he can see it with full view. How can you consider that concealed? That is out for him to see.
Because a portion of the weapon was concealed. You can see that the portion of it was concealed. You had an inner holster, right?
Yes.
So with the inner holster, because I carry one myself, with the inner holster.
Like a quarter of the gun is concealed and the rest of it is hanging out.
Well, I don't know what kind of gun it is, but a quarter of a gun or half the gun, he said that most of the gun was concealed.
Majority of the gun was out there. If you can see the video from it, you can see the gun and you can see how much of the gun was hanging out from the video.
All right. So you'll be free to argue that even if this gets to trial, that the gun was not concealed. But based on his testimony, his sworn testimony, he said that the majority of the gun was concealed. The only thing that you could see was the handle of the gun, and that's what he observed. Now, possessing the gun on your person gave him reasonable suspicion that you might be carrying the gun without a license. And that's what he acted on. He went in to further investigate whether or not you had a CPL.
That was like a hunch though. That's like he couldn't say for sure.
That's what reasonable suspicion is.
A hunch, and that gives you the reason to stop me. If you don't know how criminal occurred, for sure he shouldn't be able to stop me. He has a hunch, maybe.
Hold on. Reasonable suspicion. You mentioned the case Terry versus Ohio. You might want to go read. Reasonable suspicion means that you have reason to believe that criminal activity might be afoot, and that you can articulate on the record what that reasonable suspicion is. He saw you with a gun that was somewhat exposed on your person. Based on that, he could come and ask you questions to see if you were carrying that gun legally or not. Based on his testimony, he did so and you were not. So that's where you stand. All right. So the court, after hearing the testimony of the officer, is satisfied that people have met their burden of probable cause as it relates to the charges contained in the complaint warrant. The court finds those charges were committed in the city of Detroit. The court finds probable cause to believe this defendant committed them. The defendant will be bound over to Wayne County Third Circuit Court Criminal Division for further proceedings. His arraignment on the information, date, and time will be February 15th, 2024 at 9:00 a.m. Bond will be continued.
Is he in custody? He was here. David Zambrano.
I think he's outside the door, sir.
All right. David Zambrano. He's busy.
How you doing today?
Doing all right. It's a Tuesday. We got lots to do and we're making progress. Mr. Zambrano, we've had a hard time getting you in here. We got a lot going on here. In file 251521, you got a ticket on July 29th for driving without insurance and no valid license in possession. Those are both written under state statute. On July 25th, you got charged with driving with an unregistered vehicle in file 1523. On July 14th, you got charged with driving suspended and unregistered vehicle. That one's under White Pigeon ordinance. So July was a bad month for you. then we said this a couple times. The city or the village of White Pigeon in the July 14th case has agreed to dismiss the charges if you plead to allowing another to violate the motor vehicle code. I'm not sure what the county's position would be on the other charges. And frankly, I don't know why they didn't charge him with driving suspended on all 3 days. Let's take a look. And then you'd missed a date and then they reset it and I don't know what happened, but oops. It's the last guy.
Your Honor.
Yes.
I'm appearing here today pro se in the special appearance sui juris and in propria persona. I respectfully assert my rights to represent myself and have my constitutional rights recognized and upheld throughout these proceedings.
All right, well, that's certainly your right.
Thank you, sir.
You live in South Haven?
Actually, I'm a sojourner of the land. I don't have a residency at the
Well, the reason I ask,
I once did,
if
sir.
I need to send you mail, I need to know where to send it.
Right now, I do not have an address.
All right. Well, you do certainly have a right to represent yourself, and I don't have a quarrel with that. What do you want me to do? Set these for a trial? Or set a pretrial on all of these? Some are under White Pigeon ordinance, some are under state statute. You can help alleviate this by getting insurance, getting a license. It looks like you have some out-of-state problems. And you haven't had anything on your Michigan record in a long time. 12 years or more. So how would you like me to proceed here?
What are the charges? Again, all the ones that
Well, right now, you're not doing a very good job of representing yourself because you don't even know what you're charged with. Let me tell you again. You're charged with no insurance. That's a misdemeanor, punishable by up to a year in jail, a fine of not less than $200 and not more than $500. That was on July 29th. On that same day, they charge you with no valid license in possession, even though your license is suspended. They didn't charge that. No operator's license in possession is a misdemeanor. It's punishable by up to 90 days in jail and a fine of up to $100. On July 25th, let's take a look at that one. One, 5, 2, 3. No, that's the 29th. It's the same as the others. You got no insurance, no ops on person, unregistered vehicle. That was on July 29th. And those are all under state statute. On July 14th, you got another ticket. Take a look at that one. 1560. And that one, they filed a formal complaint that alleges that you were driving suspended and you had an unregistered vehicle. And that is under White Pigeon ordinance. Driving suspended is a misdemeanor. It's punishable by up to 93 days in jail and a fine of up to $500. That carries 2 points and it requires that your license be suspended. And then they charge that you have an unregistered vehicle. You could help all of these if you got insurance, a registered vehicle, and worked on getting your license back. So one thing I could do is set all these cases for a pretrial on the same day with the White Pigeon Village attorney and the county attorney and see if they can come to some resolution of all the charges. Is that acceptable to you?
Actually, no, I have a few questions I need answered before we
Okay.
proceed. I don't understand the nature and the cause of this action against me. And I'm, is this a civil or criminal? It's criminal.
All right, you were here with your mom and she's here with you. So it's good that you support each other. She asked me the same question, which points out to me that you're not qualified to represent yourself if you don't know the difference between a criminal matter and a civil matter. These are criminal matters. They could result in a jail sentence and a sanction on your driver's license.
Thank you, Your Honor. Should the record reflect this is a criminal action then?
Yes, it is.
Okay. I just got to look at my papers and stuff.
All right.
So my next question about it is, Constitution grants this court 2 types of jurisdictions.
Yes. All right, we're not gonna get into this, what I call jabberwocky. It has no legal effect. I don't know where you get it or where your mother got it from a online source or somebody that told you this, or they're giving you bad information. These are criminal matters. They're not terribly consequential. Normally, you wouldn't go to jail for these, although they do carry a potential jail sentence. You don't necessarily subscribe to our system, but I certainly don't subscribe to whatever you got written on the paper there. I propose we set this for a pretrial and you try to get a registration and insurance and then come in and share it with the prosecutor and the city attorney and see if we can resolve everything. If we can't, we can set it for a trial, including a jury trial, I suppose. It's 2 different incidents. So it would have to potentially be 2 different cases. What I propose is you trying to do some things to get situated and have a pretrial with the city attorney and the county prosecutor.
Your Honor, I'm going to have to object to that. I need, before we can proceed, I need to know, it's upon the authority of the 6th Amendment, I need to know the nature and the cause of these charges. Could you tell me if it is a common law?
No, these are statutory offenses written under the authority of the people of the state of Michigan. One of these is under the insurance code and one is under the motor vehicle code. The others are. And I don't really wish to engage in this discussion. We've got about 40 other people waiting for their case. And you want to talk to me about how many angels can fit on the head of a pin. You're charged with 2 separate traffic offenses on 2 separate occasions. You have a right to have an attorney. I'd be happy to appoint one for you, but you don't want one. You want to represent yourself, which is your right, but you don't have the right to waste my time. So if you either want me to set it for a pretrial, I can do that. That would be my preference. Then you can sit down with both prosecutors, ask these questions. And see if it can be resolved. If it can't, we can set it for a trial, either in front of a judge or a jury. So what would you rather do here today?
Well, on the authority of the Sixth Amendment, I'm asking that the court discloses the jurisdiction that I ask.
I just did.
You
So
said it's a statutory jurisdiction?
yes, you're
Okay.
supremely unqualified to represent yourself in this matter because someone sold you a packet of information that has no relevance in the modern universe that we live in. So I'm gonna set this for a pretrial.
Your Honor, that would be practicing law from the bench if you proceed without me.
I'm a lawyer, I'm a judge, I practice law from the bench, I do it every day, all day. And
I'd like to, I do have a few more questions about this.
I don't have any more time to answer your questions. I have a question for you. What do you want me to do with it? Set it for a pretrial or set it for a trial?
Under a statutory jurisdiction, I've never heard of, I need to know where I can find the published rules of the criminal procedure under that.
Well, you can certainly find them on the internet. They're in the public library. You just put the number of the citation, 257904 under the Michigan compile laws. All right.
Was that
Mr. Stickley is the chief public defender. He's had an opportunity to talk with you. Mr. Stickley, what's your recommendation here?
My recommendation would be to set it for a pretrial. I'm happy to spend a few moments with this gentleman and show him where the statute is and
All right.
maybe where he can Google or library.
And he's entitled to have copies of each of the tickets and the complaints, and so he can see it. So if you'd like, we'll get copies of their tickets for you. You got the ticket, but there's a formal complaint. I'm going to set it joint with the city and county for 2 weeks, October 7. Mr. Stickley is the chief public defender, and he's not exactly representing you, but he's here to make sure that your rights are protected. And he also can give you some advice and maybe point you in the direction of what you want to do. Again, it would be helpful if you would come in with insurance and a proper plate and perhaps an effort to get your license back. You don't want to stay on the driving suspended merry-go-round because it's very hard to get off of it. Once you get suspended, you live near White Pigeon. The other problem is I don't have an address for you. So I need a mailing address. When you go out to we can use your mom's address but I'm gonna need you to give the clerks some sort of address where we can send things to you.
Could you deliver it general delivery to the post office?
Well, you can give them that.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna want you to take him out, get him a proper notice for that pretrial on the 7th. Mr. Stickley will meet with you and get some of that information that you're looking for. All right, sir, I'll see you on the 7th.
This is the city of Detroit, Mr. Berry versus Destiny Graves, case number SB 106959, counts 1 and counts 2, SB 172478881, SB 172-4805, counts 1, 2, and 3, and SB 172-4836-1. Appearance for the Mr. Barry.
Elwood S. Barry Jr. on behalf of the defendant. State your full name, Ms. Graves.
Good morning, Your Honor. I am Destiny Raven Graves. That's capital D, lowercase ESTINEY, hyphen, capital R, lowercase AIVYN, colon, capital G, lowercase RAVES. I am appearing specially and not generally. I am here in good faith and under the protest solely to address the matters raised in my plea abatement. I am not here to delay the process, but to ensure proper identification and lawful jurisdiction are established in the record before any further proceedings.
All right, good morning to you, ma'am. Today is the date and time set for arraignment on the bench warrant. Would you like counsel to represent you or no?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
I said today is the date and time set for arraignment on the bench warrant. Would you like counsel to represent you or not?
I actually am not open to proceeding until we establish jurisdiction over the living woman. That's Destiny, lowercase ESTINEY, hyphen, capital R, lowercase AIVYN, colon, capital G, lowercase RAVES.
Okay. Jurisdiction has been established if you are Destiny Graves. If you're Destiny Graves, if that's your name, then unless you have some other view of the court rule and you cite a court rule, the court is going to feel the jurisdiction has been established.
I understand, Your Honor, but respectfully, the name in all caps represents a corporate legal fiction. I am here as a living woman, not as a surety or a fictional entity. I respectfully require the court to establish, for the record, how to obtain lawful personal jurisdiction over me, the living woman, separate from that entity.
Well, I'm going to enter a not guilty plea on your behalf. I'm going to give you a $0 bond. I can either give you into the breakout room with the city with an attorney, and he can help you proceed, or you can proceed and speak to the city attorney yourself to see if you can work this matter out, or I can set a jury trial date and the matter will be resolved on the jury trial date. Which one would you like to do, ma'am?
Are you asking me if I would like to proceed for trial?
Yes.
I would respectfully, Your Honor, I would like to reserve all my rights under the UCC 1-308, and I object to these proceedings under protest and duress. My appearance is special and not general. I do not consent to the court assuming jurisdiction through presumption. If this court insists on moving forward without proving lawful authority over the living woman, I must note a violation of due process for the record.
Okay. So, I mean, if you can't give me an answer to my question, then I'm going to put you back in the waiting room until you can figure it out, and we'll move on to the next person.
What is your question, Your Honor?
I asked you, do you want to see if the attorney can get you an offer and speak with the attorney? Or would you like to work out an offer with the city yourself to resolve the matter? Or would you like me to set a jury trial date? Those are your three options. You keep on saying that same stuff is not going to change what your three options are, okay? So that's that. I don't need to hear that same recitation of what you just mentioned a minute ago. Now, what do you want to do?
So I'm sorry, respectfully, Your Honor, I do want to know, is this denying the abatement plea?
Say that again.
Is this denying my abatement plea?
I'm not getting into this, ma'am. I'm going to pass the matter. All right, let's go to, what is that? Huron Mendez. All right, Destiny, are you there? Is your device working now?
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. What is your full name, ma'am?
I'm sorry.
What is your full name?
I am Destiny Graves. That's capital D, lowercase e, S T I N E Y. Hold on, boo. I'm sorry. Well, give me a minute. That's capital D, capital D, lowercase.
Yes, you can. All right, thank you.
Hello?
I'm sorry. No problem.
Hold on. Somebody's talking.
Hello?
Hold on a second. This is the City of Detroit versus Destiny Raymond Graves, case number SP 1069059. Counts 1, counts 2, SP 1724805, counts 1, 2, and 3, SP 1724831. State your name for the record, please, ma'am.
For the record, I am capital D, lowercase e, S T I N E Y, dash capital R, lowercase A I V Y N, colon capital G, lowercase R A V E S, and I am appearing specially, not generally. I am here in good faith to address the matter of jurisdiction before any other proceedings.
All right. Today is the date and time set for a show cause. You missed your last court appearance.
No, I appeared. What was it? Not just past the matter.
Yeah, but you left then. You left without waiting on me to recall your case.
Oh, because I had spoke with your secretary.
You don't speak with anybody but me. I give you the authority to leave or not.
Yeah, I wasn't aware what to do, what my next steps were to do. So I did send a letter to the clerk so that I could figure out what my next steps were, because I was confused on what past the matter was, and I didn't want to.
You need to hire yourself a lawyer, ma'am, or if you don't know the procedure, or learn the rules of the court rules.
Understood, Your Honor.
All right. So, what do you want to do? Do you want an offer or you want a trial date?
I'm sorry.
Do you want an offer on these matters or do you want a trial date?
Honestly, Your Honor, I would like to establish proper jurisdiction before moving on.
All right, the jurisdiction in the court size is established. You got notice, right?
Noticed in what way?
You got notified by the court that you had to be here, right?
Was I notified by the court?
You got a ticket, ma'am. So let's just.
Yes, Your Honor, I did have a ticket, but I did not sign any. I did not sign over my rights or anything, so I didn't.
You haven't given up any. You haven't given up any of your rights. Now, do you want to speak to a lawyer or not?
No, Your Honor.
All right. So either you have two options, ma'am. I can let you speak to the city attorney yourself. You have three options. You can plead as charged to all the matters. I can let you speak to the city attorney yourself, and you can try to work out a deal for yourself, or I'm going to set a jury trial date. Which one of the three options do you want?
One second. You said I can take a plea, speak to an attorney, or set a jury trial date?
You can take a plea you can plead as charged. You can speak with an attorney if you just said you didn't want to speak to the attorney. But you can speak to the attorney, that gives you 4 options. You can plead as charged, you can speak to an attorney, you can speak to the city attorney yourself and try to work out the matter yourself with the city attorney, or you can set it for a jury trial. I'm not even gonna set it for a bench trial. Just set it for a jury trial. Which one do you want?
I can say jury trial. Speak to attorney.
All right, I'm gonna pass it unless you
Now
figure it out.
I wanna write it down. I'm trying to figure it out.
All right, I'll pass it until you figure it out.
Okay.
Raise your hand in the chat once you figure it out.
Okay.
Let's pass the matter. Let's go back on the record with Miss Raven Gibson. Miss Destiny Raven Gibson. Miss Gibson, I'm giving you an opportunity to make your mind up what you wanted to do. What would you like to do?
Thank you, Your Honor. It's not Gibson.
No, Graves, I'm sorry. Destiny Graves, I'm sorry. All right, go ahead, ma'am. What do you want to do?
I'm sorry?
What do you want to do?
Okay, I just want to say thank you for allowing me a moment to gather my thoughts. I am Destiny Graves, Destiny Raven Graves. That's capital D, lowercase ESTINEY, dash, capital R, lowercase AIVYN, colon, capital G, lowercase RAVES. I am appearing specially, not generally. I do not waive any of my rights. I am here to set a pretrial date under protest and to preserve my challenge to jurisdiction and proper identification. I respectfully ask that my objections remain on the record and that my appearance today not be interpreted as a waiver of those rights. I am ready to proceed with pretrial while maintaining these protections. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, so I gave you 4 options. Which other options did you want to take? That's what I gave you time to figure out. You said all that other stuff, that your objection is noted on the record. So you said all that other stuff.
Right, I said that I will do a pretrial. I will set a pretrial date.
No, the day is the date and time set for pretrial. No. You're gonna either set it for trial. You're either gonna I'm giving you, here are the options. We're gonna treat today like a pretrial date. On a pretrial date, that's the date where you go and speak with the city attorney and try to work out a deal. Obviously, it's obvious that you are not interested in working out a deal because you probably just want all the cases dismissed because you feel that you have the legal authority to drive or to ride on a cell phone and move around the city. You don't feel these allegations apply to you. So
no, Your Honor, it's not that I feel that they don't apply to me.
Wait a minute. Either you're gonna get a deal with the city attorney today. They're gonna do this one more time. You're gonna get a deal with the city attorney today. You're gonna speak to an attorney in the breakout room so they can secure a deal for you. You're gonna set a jury trial, or you're gonna plead guilty to everything. Those are your 4 options. Which one do you want?
Your Honor, unfortunately, I do not consent to move forward without showing proper jurisdiction over my living person.
All right, give me a jury trial date, please.
I'm sorry?
I'm gonna set a jury trial date now. And you're gonna be in person. You're gonna have to come in person for this next court hearing.
And what date would this be? As can I also say that well, I also would like to add that I would like for my rights to be preserved under the process.
Your rights are gonna be preserved. You haven't taken a plea at all today or not.
Okay.
Excuse me, Your Honor, are you going to appoint standby counsel for a jury trial?
I don't think that is even necessary. I don't know. Do you want me to appoint you to this, Ms. Soroki?
No, thank you. I don't do the assigned jury trials.
Oh, I gotta go through the MDIC anyway.
We can do September the 16th.
September the 16th. September the 16th is gonna be the jury trial date. That's gonna be in person on September the 16th, okay?
September 16th in person, what time?
At, we'll just say 8:30. Then I'm gonna set 2 other dates. I'm gonna set a motion here. I don't think that's necessary, but I'll set it anyway. Motion hearing date. Oh, no, I'll just set a final pretrial date. Final pretrial date will be the day before on September the 15th. So.
Okay, you said, say it again, a trial.
I'm gonna give it to you all. So final pretrial date, write this down, ma'am. Final pretrial date is gonna be September 15th. You do not have to appear in person. You can come online then, but I do want all parties to appear. Ms. Snyder, are you there?
Alexa Schneider for the people, P80322. I'm here. Is this Destiny Graves?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
So make sure if your officers choose to, if they don't, we'll dismiss the case on the final pretrial date. Ms. Graves, all parties are going to appear on final pretrial date. And then we'll set a jury trial on September the 16th, 2025. Do I need to appoint? Do you want me to appoint an attorney to you to stand by and assist you on this, ma'am?
Sure, but I don't think it's needed, but we can, we'll proceed with that if you like.
I don't know. Do you have a number that she can be contacted at?
Yes.
What's the number?
313-413-2976.
All right. I'll try to see if we can get an appointed attorney. But we'll just set a pretrial on. So come back on the date. 28th date is, we're going to add another court date, the 28th of August. Come back on the 28th of August. Answer the calls you don't recognize. Hopefully, one of those calls should be that appointed attorney, and that date is set just to make sure that you've had contact with that attorney. Okay.
Okay. So I just want to confirm real fast.
Go ahead.
September 16th, jury trial date for 8:30 in person, and then the final pre-trial September 15th on Zoom. What time would that be?
At 8:30.
Okay.
And then another pre-trial date for the purposes of making sure that attorney has contacted you. I need you to answer the calls you don't recognize. One of those calls should be that appointed attorney. If that appointed attorney does not contact you by that date, then we will try to get one appointed to you on the spot on that date, okay? That would be on August the 28th. So you have August the 28th, September the 15th, and September the 16th.
Is it the same time?
8:30, yes.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Ms. Further, have a very good day. Best of luck to you.
You too.
All right.
I'm not threatening you. Say one more word and that's 30 days. 30 days.